Welcome back to Unfiltered Sports Weekly. And I've been told that we need to have somebody else lead us in because the Kev needed to take a breath of fresh air. So I'm the Beeb.
I'm St. Joe.
Yeah, I'm Kev.
And we're happy to be with you tonight. I'm leading off with my segment, the best thing in sports that I saw last week. Well, I guess in the last 7 days. I want to know if first of all, $700 million contract in baseball. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, for Shohei Ohtani, it's a great thing, right? But the most interesting thing that came out of that was he's only getting paid $2 million a year for 10 years, and then I guess they're going to pay him a chunk of $680 million at the end of that. And so I guess my question is: are they hedging their bets on he's going to die like he's going to be dead?
I don't know why that's a big surprise to everybody. Because I mean, it's similar to the way Bobby Bonilla gets paid,
Right.
and similar to the way that Ken Griffey Jr. got paid. They got big deferments. So I mean, not many teams can just cough up $70 million a year for 10 years. They've got to defer that out.
How many? I mean, when you say defer that out, I mean, I guess we don't have the logistics of the deferment, right?
Well, yeah, it's $20 million, but between now and 2033, and then starting in 2034, it's 10 more years of the remaining contract split into 10.
Gotcha. And then what doesn't hit their...
So he's getting $700 million over the next 20 years, basically.
Doesn't hit their luxury tax.
Right.
Right.
And then
$68 million a year.
And then, lest we not forget, baseball does not have a salary cap.
Right.
And every contract is guaranteed.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he has a golden parachute.
So if you're one of these people like Kyler Murray and trying to pick between the NFL, non-guaranteed contracts and baseball, he must have not thought he was that good at baseball to where he could make more money in the immediate playing football. But in the long term, if you're looking for longevity of career, getting paid for the longer amount of time, it's time to pick up the smaller ball.
And there'll also be people that say, I can't believe how much money's in sports. I think that's highway robbery, or that's just not right, or blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to say, you know what? Let him go out there and get what he's worth. I mean, if someone's going to pay him, why not sign a contract? I guarantee they weren't the only ones going to pay him that much.
You know what? That's like those fucking idiots that fucking talk about why the players in the WNBA don't get paid what the NBA do. Because no one goes to fucking games. Do we not know how economics works? People buy a fucking ticket. That type of money goes to pay salaries. Well, why doesn't Brittany Griner get paid what LeBron James does? Give me a fucking break.
Doesn't that have more to do with the TV contracts now?
Just money in general. What would you rather watch? Would you rather watch the Mavericks play the Heat, or I can't even name two NBA teams. I know one of them's the Aces, and the only reason I know that is because they just won the shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
The question is, do you want to see people make layups, or do you want to see people dunk on each other?
I like this guy. I forget who it was. It's one of the sports guys, but he's like a billionaire. He's like a Mark Cuban type of guy, but he likes to talk sports, and so he bought his own channel or whatever so he could talk sports. He's kind of like a Colin Cowherd type guy. I forget his name. Anyhow, he is going to put $1 million up. I don't know if you saw this, but he's going to put $1 million up, and he's going to pick a state basketball champion of his choosing, and he's going to put $1 million against the WNBA champion.
Yeah, yeah.
And
they're not going to take it.
I guarantee you. I think the state championship would win. The high school state champ would beat the WNBA.
Guys, they've already run this back. Okay. They've already done this once, and it was in, how the U.S. women's soccer team were world Cup champions. They played against a fifth a guy's 16 under team, like AAU team soccer, and just got destroyed.
Who the women did?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
by
it's soccer.
16-year-old men, 16-year-old boys. It's soccer.
Yeah.
They're faster, they're stronger. It's just that's how it is.
It's
Plus, it's
science.
soccer.
Yeah.
It's science. Like Ron Burgundy said, it's science.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I
I actually just watched a replay, not a replay, but like a short like sports clip on the same type of thing. U.S. women's national team taking on Wrexham. You guys know that Ryan Reynolds owns that.
Ryan.
Yeah.
So the retired Wrexham players, I mean like old Wrexham players, just 12-0.
Yeah.
I will tell you this: there are videos out there where women's softball players, specifically pitchers, are like striking out major league batters. And it's because of the positioning of the ball and then the length of which they don't throw it from 60 feet 6 inches. They're a lot
Right,
closer.
it's just they're a lot faster.
And also, Major League Baseball players are trained to look for the ball coming out of the hand at a certain point, and their point of release is way different. And but I get a kick out of those when they put somebody up there. I was watching one with, I don't know if you know who Marcus Semien is. He plays for the second base for the Rangers, and she was just blowing it by him, dude.
Yep,
That's funny.
I believe
That's
it.
funny. So I mean, but like you can't watch like the best woman UFC fighter fight Conor McGregor.
No. No.
I mean, that's not going to happen.
Now, all that said, money, the money in sports is astronomical. But
Sure.
I think Shohei, I think he actually did a pretty good job by himself. I think by the time he's finished getting paid, him, his family, and his family's families will all be, retired millionaires. So, I mean, I think what he did was he went and got what he was worth.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of money, let's talk about somebody else real quick here that famously quoted a lovely game you guys all like, a little chasing a little white ball, right? And said, I will never play the game for the money, right?
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Plays it for the love of the game because that's what it's
John
about.
Rahm is who he's speaking of.
That's what it's about, the love of the game. Right?
John Rahm, the guy who just signed a $400 million contract with Live.
Wasn't it like, I think it was 600 million or something, wasn't it?
Some giant
But
astronomical
yeah, whatever it
number,
was.
yeah.
But he doesn't do it for the money, though, right? He does it for the love of the game, right? Yeah. Okay.
All I know is that man can golf.
Yeah, he can golf, and good for him.
Have you guys ever seen the
Good for
movie
him.
Blue Chips?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Nick
Great movie.
Nolte.
Yeah.
It's loosely based on Bobby Knight's career, but it talks. There's a line in that where Nick Nolte's character Pete Bell says, it's not about the kids. It sure as hell ain't about basketball. It's about money. Just goddamn money.
Yep. It's about money, man. And he finally did come out and say, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, my kids are going to be set exactly what you said, because my grandkids generations are going to be, fine. But hey, I mean, why not? If you can do it, why not go get the money? I mean,
And he doesn't have to
wouldn't
play
turn
as
it
much
down.
golf.
No.
I mean, he's not being forced to play every week. And,
Yeah. And
it's
eventually there's going to be a merge, right? So
supposedly
they're all going to come back to the PGA eventually, or some kind of merger where they're all going to end up together anyway. So
the PGA Tour will be lucky to be alive.
it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It's kind of like these women that are on the social media, and they're bitching that they ain't got no money. And I'm over here going like, if people would watch me on OnlyFans, I think I might take advantage of that. If I had something that they wanted to see, So I'm just saying, go get yours. If you have the chance. That's my point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not saying go be a hooker, but I mean, if that's your prerogative, I mean, it's a free country.
Hey, people want to look at feet, go look at feet. But they can do money and do that, then great. But I
Why
just
are you
can't.
always bringing up the feet?
Oh my God, this is the best line ever. I don't know if you were watching it, right? We're going to talk about this right now. We are going to talk about this right now. Did you see Rex Ryan at all? Because
I
he's
know
talking
who he
about
is.
Kadarius-
I know he has
No,
a
I've
foot
seen the
fetish.
clip.
Kadarius Tone. It's a Kadarius Tony. And he goes, he had his toe on the line. And you know how much I love toes.
Oh,
Best
gross,
line that he
man.
said
That is
ever.
gross.
That was hilarious. Hilarious. He's like, the
That
people
is
on the set, he was on the
gross.
Mike Green, I think he was on the Mike Green show. And the guy that I forget who he was, but that guy lost his mind. He could not stop laughing. And he's like, what did you say? And he goes, he had his toe on the line and I love toes. And he just lost it. It was absolutely the funniest thing I've ever heard. And he could not stop laughing. That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny.
Back in the day when he was coaching the Jets, right? I didn't know that. I don't pay attention to anything but the teams that my teams play. So the AFC South back then was the AFC Central. So I'm not a real big New York Jets fan, but I know who they are. Anyhow, so Rex Ryan's the head coach. So I flip it over to the Saints one time, and his brother was for a time a defensive coach for the Saints, and they're twins, and I was like, why the hell do the Saints have Rex Ryan on their sideline with a wig on?
Yeah. Rob Ryan. Yeah.
I mean, they look exactly alike, except for the hair and the facial hair.
Yeah.
So,
that's funny.
Yeah. Well,
how about that Kadarius Tony? Huh? Let's get into that.
I don't know if I want to talk about it.
Oh, let's do it. I mean, biggest story of the week, right?
All I can say is that was one hell of a play by Travis Kelce. That didn't exist. Didn't exist.
I mean, let's talk about that. I mean, let's just talk about the play that never is going to count. I mean, first of all, that right there was a phenomenal play. That's not going to count, right? I mean, the foresight that Kelce had to throw it 20 yards across the field to hit him in stride and to have him go in to score a touchdown was phenomenal. I mean, it was an incredible play, right? I mean, it's too bad it didn't count.
Well, number one, it was a pretty good game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good game. When the Bills and Chiefs get together, the NFL scriptwriters get together and say, we're going to make this a good game. We're going to put Jim Nantz and Tony Romo on a goddamn call, and then, they're going to flip out. I mean, the elephant in the room is he was lined up in the neutral zone.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah. He was lined up in the neutral zone.
Right.
In my opinion, Patrick Mahomes has become the crying bitch of the NFL.
I'm glad you said it because I almost said it myself.
He's the Aaron Rodgers of the NFL this year.
He is fucking killing me. Okay.
Yeah.
If Patrick Mahomes is out there and he's listening to this program, shut the fuck up. No, he's going out there and he should be congratulating Josh Allen, and all this and being the better guy. And he's still complaining about the fucking refs,
Right.
And then he goes over and talks to so-and-so. He's complaining about the fucking refs. Worst fucking call he's ever seen. Then he gets up on the podium and he's complaining about the fucking refs. Worst call that they ever seen. Look, NFL officiating this year across the board is rivaling the dumbass motherfuckers that Major League Baseball umpires are.
It's been horrible.
Look, I'll add a caveat
It's
onto
been
that.
bad.
This was not one of those bad calls.
It was not. It was as the rules go, it was the right call. As the rules go.
That's the perfect point to make is that you notice that they're complaining that they didn't get the call, but they're not complaining that it wasn't wrong. They're not saying he was, you know what I'm saying? They're not saying that it wasn't offsides. They're just saying that they didn't get the call.
All right, let me break this down for you real quick. All right, best way I can. This is the Kev breakdown. Okay, So we got these dumbass motherfuckers that wear white and black, right?
Right.
Okay, so if you have never watched an NFL football game, and watch all the positions. I mean, most, hookers out there, they're just watching the quarterbacks. They don't know the positions. Anyhow, the guy that is to the top of your screen or the bottom of your screen, he's called a wide receiver. He's the guy, his job is to catch the ball. And they're professional athletes, so they're kind of stipulating the fact that they're going to catch the ball. That's why pass interference is a spot foul in the NFL, not 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. Anyhow, so if you watch one of them, they will often point to the ref on the side judge, and the side judge will tell him if he's lined up offsides because he's lined directly with the ball. Okay, and then he'll turn his head. Sometimes you see them back up a little bit, right? The ref's telling him, "Hey, you're lined up in the neutral zone." Well, that didn't happen here. Okay, so the unwritten rule is if that doesn't happen, like if he doesn't tell you to back the fuck up, then they shouldn't throw the flag. My point that is Kadarius Toney didn't check.
Right.
He didn't check with the side judge.
I watched the replay.
Lined up.
I watched the replay and I saw him point,
He didn't check.
I saw the ump respond, but then he kept moving forward after he made the check.
He didn't.
And he stepped forward into the neutral zone, and you're like, okay, well, I mean, yeah, you can cry about it, even if he checked and the ref said, or didn't say, hey, you should back up or whatever. He is so egregiously in the neutral zone that you can't not call it. Because
he's borderline on the Bills' side of the ball.
I mean, he's almost there. Right?
Yeah.
And so if the Bills make this play and it goes uncalled, on ESPN the next morning, they look down and they say, possibly offsides? And then all of the Bills fans on the planet lose their minds, right? So which I mean, like, it's not going to be as big of a controversy because I don't think Josh Allen's going to run across the sideline and start cursing out the referee and having to have like 8 guys hold him back from, I don't know what Patrick Mahomes thought he was going to do if he got to the referee, but that was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Patrick Mahomes has become such an entitled cunt. That
yes.
I mean, he really has.
You're right.
I mean, of all of Tom Brady's miscomings, okay, he never went out there and told the ref that was the worst fucking call. Now, did he think they were bad calls? Yeah. Did you always see him when he lost? He was sitting in that same place on the bench, with that same smug, look on him. There was all that, but when the game was over, see, this is my whole problem with LeBron. I know we talked about that. We talked about it last week, but with him going out there, I mean, he was telling everybody, and probably went to the mall after the game and sat on Santa Claus's lap because he's so fucking short, and told him that what he wants for Christmas is a new referee. Because he's become an entitled person that needs to shut the fuck up.
Right.
I just wonder, the season's not going the way I don't think Kansas City expected for them. You know what I mean? Like, they're not, I mean, they're still good, but how many games have they lost? 5?
Yeah.
And they've lost some games to some teams they probably shouldn't have lost to. Right. And he's probably getting sick of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but take the loss and respect the game. I mean, Kadarius Toney got called. He was offsides 4 other times during that game that didn't get called. You know how many times that penalty has been called this year?
Yeah.
18 times they've called that penalty.
Well,
so it's not like they're not calling it. It's not like they're being and saying, "Hey, we're calling." You know what lost the Super Bowl for Kansas City? That call, that exact call.
If you back it up a week, I can tell you a fucking phantom fucking holding call that cost the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars a Monday night fucking football game.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
did Trevor Lawrence go out there and go, "Oh, that's the worst fucking call ever"?
Well, you didn't hear the coach. What was the coach saying? Coach said, well, if we could just get our freaking field goal kicker to make a field goal, then we might have won.
Look
which
at
is
the
exactly
previous,
what you should say.
look at the previous week. There was blatant pass interference in the Green Bay game that
Yep.
they lost. But you know what? It happens. It happens.
Well, and I'm not gonna. And to bring this up, if you think that's the most egregious touchdown that was disallowed ever, you're wrong.
No.
You're
I mean,
wrong. And the only reason that he was so upset was the situation. They're driving down the field. Travis Kelce, you know what? If he would have just kept the ball and gotten tackled, this wouldn't be a thing, right? This wouldn't be a thing.
it was such a spectacular play. It was cool, and it was there, and the way that it was, yeah, it was cool. But you know what? There could have been a holding call that got it called back, and it would have been the same result. It was so. I don't
It
know.
happens
Just
every week. A big
Yeah.
touchdown gets called back. I guarantee in the NFL, some college football drives you insane because of this, right?
yeah.
Some
Yeah.
guy will take off running and score a touchdown, probably 50-yard scamper. He scores a touchdown, gets called back for holding. And then they show you the replay of the holding call, and you're like, where's on who? You know, like, where'd that come from? And you just gotta have to kind of, okay, well, they called it. We can't, there's no matter how long you're gonna piss and moan about the play calling, and you're gonna say, and here's what they'll always say, well, we gotta fight against the refs and the other team, right? That's always
he's-
gonna be the thing.
He's going to get a big fine. And you know who else should get fined? His wife. Because she's on TikTok then, and she's zooming in on the ref. She's putting MVP. You know what? Oh, that's a whole nother story. She drives.
I
me
didn't know.
nuts.
I didn't know about that, but the coach
yeah.
should also be fined. Andy Reid
Yeah.
should be fined because he can.
I'm sure he will.
Refs too. So,
Yeah, while we're at it, why don't we just find Taylor Swift?
yeah, I
She
mean,
can
she's got
afford
enough money to pay for it.
You know what?
I mean,
There's
for
no,
heaven's sakes.
you leave Tay out of this. There's nothing wrong with her.
Tay Tay. Now we're calling her fucking Tay Tay.
You leave her out of that.
That's
There's
it.
nothing
Hey,
wrong
real
with her.
quick. You want to know what the cause of all these bad calls are? I got it right here. You want to know what the cause of them are?
What?
The 5G towers.
Mm.
Oh no, you want to talk about conspiracy? I got a conspiracy for you. You want to get into that?
I mean, whatever.
We'll move.
I mean,
We'll move
you
right
know.
into that.
Hey,
Okay,
we're live
well,
on
we'll move
YouTube
right
tonight.
into
No one's
that.
fucking watching. You know, I had like
So,
9 people telling me they're gonna fucking tune in. So fuck all
all
you
right.
guys.
I want to give
So
one
here it
last.
is.
I want to give one
Okay.
last thing on Patrick Mahomes. I agree with Keb. I watched him play at Texas Tech multiple times because they played Oklahoma when he was playing for, and he was incredible. Never ever did he have that attitude when he was playing.
No.
Never ever ever was he like that when he was playing. But now all of a sudden, he like, okay, you're gonna hold him back. Like 8 players got to hold him back from going and attacking the referee. When was that ever a thing?
It's the
When was that ever a
entitlement,
thing?
man. It's the entitlement of these players right now. I mean,
He's the face of your league.
yeah,
He's the face of your league.
he is.
Like he has been, maybe not this season, but for the last 5 years, he's been the face of your league. And that's what you're seeing on replay. That's what you're seeing on ESPN, like in replays. And that's not a good look. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's not a good look.
He
at
looks
all.
like a villain, not a hero.
A bitch.
Oh, he's all over the place too, and
A
it's
bitch.
not a good look at all.
I like the word bitch.
Okay, so let's go on to the your conspiracy theory.
All right. Have you heard about the NFL logo conspiracy?
No.
Oh man, I can't believe this is crazy. So all right. So you're familiar with the NFL logos, right? And recently they changed them about 3 years ago, right?
Mhm.
They went from the shiny metallic logo that it used to be to the multicolored logos. All right. So 3 years ago, who was in the Super Bowl 3 years ago?
Kansas City and
Tampa Bay.
yeah.
No. So
2020.
so-
it was Kansas City and Tampa Bay.
Bengals and
Oh, it
Rams.
was the Bengals game.
That was the year after that. It's 2 years ago. It was the Bengals and Rams. And
I'm
then
sorry,
last-
2 years ago. You're right.
yeah,
I'm
then
sorry.
last year
2
was
years
the
ago.
Eagles and the Chefs.
Yes. So if you look at 2 years ago, the Bengals and the Rams, LVI, right? So at the top of the logo is orange, and the bottom of the logo is yellow, right? So predetermined that the teams that will be in the Super Bowl were going to be the Bengals and the Rams. And who won?
The Rams.
The Rams.
So the color on the bottom was yellow, so the Rams won.
Okay.
All right. Next year, the color on the top was green, and the color on the bottom was red. So who was in the Super Bowl?
The Eagles and the Chiefs.
Eagles and the Chiefs.
Right, but was that
And
at the
who
beginning
won?
of the season?
It was at the. It comes out in the middle of the year.
Okay.
So who's on the who and who won? Chiefs.
He's talking about the Super Bowl logo.
Super Bowl logo. Super
So
Bowl
what's the
logo
Super
this
Bowl logo?
year.
What's the logo this year? Yeah, I want to hear it.
Red on top,
gonna be the
purple
Chiefs.
on the bottom.
Purple on the bottom. Oh, it's going to be Baltimore, huh?
San Francisco
Baltimore.
and Baltimore rematch.
Boy, it would really suck for Baltimore.
So Baltimore, so purple on the bottom means that Baltimore is going to win the Super Bowl, right?
Boy, we need to timestamp this right now. We need to timestamp this.
Right.
And be like, okay,
So,
what episode
here it
is
is.
this?
But they just changed the logo recently. I might have even been today that now the logo is blue on top and red on the bottom.
So it's going to be what kind of blue?
Like Cowboys. Cowboys Chiefs is who they think it is now.
Oh, yeah.
They need to put that bitch red on the top and teal on the motherfucking bottom.
That's 2025. So if you're going
Yeah.
back, there's another guy that he has predicted every Super Bowl winner for like the last, I want to say it's like 17, 18 years. And I could look him up real quick. But he's got the Jags going in 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I found that logo thing was pretty interesting to go back when they changed it. And I'm like, nah, I don't know. That's kind of
That's full-fledged
coincidental,
conspiracy.
but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, is it predetermined? There's no way. I mean, how would you? What if the refs are getting yelled at and they're everything's the way it is? It's
All
a
right,
big
so-
moneymaker, man.
They are saying that the NFL is scripted.
It is scripted and everything like that. So let's just look right now. All right, let's just look at right now or the way that it is. I mean, who do you think is going to be Super Bowl? Who do you think right now is the best team in the league? I mean, the Niners are looking pretty tough, right?
Cowboys look good too. This could be an interesting NFC playoff.
I mean,
but, the Niners look really good. They just
the Eagles have
destroyed
certainly
Philadelphia.
dropped down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but that always happens this time of year. Somebody goes
Yeah.
out and 10-1 and then loses like 3 in a row.
right.
And then figures it out. I mean, I say this to, like I was telling somebody today, they're like, yeah, the Jaguars lost 2 in a row. I'd rather them lose 2 in a row now, being 8-5, than lose, the last 2 of the season going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
because even at this point, if the Jags were to lose out, they'll probably still get a wild card. They're not going to lose out because they get to play the Titans. Now I say that, and the Titans just beat the Dolphins last night, but
Which was another thing we need to talk
which is
about.
another thing. Like the Dolphins are like rolling until they come up against them. I'm not a Dolphins believer. I'm really not, because what team have they beaten that's good?
Yeah, I mean, right.
They shellacked the Broncos and then turn around and get their ass kicked by the Bills.
Right.
And the Bills aren't that great. Hell, Jacksonville beat the Bills.
Right.
So
And
yeah,
London.
I think the AFC is wide open. I think a number of teams, certainly everybody's scared of Baltimore. We're going to see how Baltimore is Sunday night, because Baltimore hasn't really played anybody good either. They had trouble with the Bears,
Yeah.
with all due respect to the Bears. So we're going to see how good Baltimore is. I don't think Jacksonville's. I don't think Jacksonville's going to be favored to beat them. I don't think they're going to blow the doors off of them. But could Jacksonville beat them? Absolutely.
And Jacksonville's pissed because they lost 2 in a row. So I think it's going to be a really good game.
Has anybody done the math? Can the Broncos actually make it?
Yes, they
They
can
have
make
to win out. They have to win out.
the playoffs.
They're going to have to. They're going to.
Yeah.
What they're going to have to do. What the Broncos are going to have to do
Wouldn't want to
is
play them. I'm telling you, I wouldn't want
They can maybe lose one more game, but they definitely have to go 3-1. Okay.
That defense is
What,
good.
there's 4 more games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they definitely have to go 3-1. They could probably lose out. They're probably going to beat the Chargers again because Justin Herbert's out for the year now.
Right.
So they could, but they're going to need some help, somebody's going to do something about Houston and Indianapolis, because
Yeah.
those guys are going to be. And then let us not forget the Steelers. Kenny
Right.
Pickett's coming back. I was talking to Mr. Jones today from the Two Penny Podcast about Kenny Pickett, and I didn't realize they were trying to get him to play this week.
Hmm.
And I didn't realize that. So, and I know at the risk of sounding like a broken record, Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season ever
Right.
as a head coach. So, at the beginning of the season, we were talking about this. And everybody's like, the Steelers are going to suck. The Steelers are going to suck. And I'm like, hang on, because in this household, outside the Jaguars, the Steelers are what we watch next. So I'm pretty familiar with them. Because if they're, another thing, fuck whoever makes the NFL schedule, because the Steelers have like 17 primetime fucking games. Okay, the Jaguars have like 3.
Yeah.
Jaguars went farther than them in the playoffs last year. Okay, for division winner, and they should be rewarded, which I feel that they were. But the Steelers, and I get that they are a storied franchise, 6 Super Bowl rings, all that good stuff. But seriously, it's like every week they're either on Thursday, Sunday, or Monday night.
Yeah, they're not really that fun to watch this year either.
Their defenses, I like watching more defense. I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick, T.J. Watt, Highsmith.
Yeah.
They get those turnovers rolling. I mean, that game against the Browns where the Browns were just putting it on the ground left and right. And that was when Deshaun Watson was playing.
Yeah. Well,
No, I would not want to play the Broncos. Their defense is very good, really good. So I mean, you know what the old saying is defense wins championships.
Yeah.
So
that's why the Jaguars are fucked.
yeah, they can't.
their
stop
defense was
anybody.
horrible. Their
The
defense was
Jaguars
horrible.
cannot score more than the other team. They just can't.
No.
Not with their number 1 receiver out.
No, they didn't look good. Yeah, it was terrible. But anyway,
Evan Ingram
it'll be
did give
interesting.
me
I think
like
the AFC will be
30,
tough.
30 fucking fantasy points, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fantasy. I don't. Even
Hey,
wanna
that
talk about-
Henderson guy scored a touchdown again too, didn't he?
Who you're talking about? Washington?
Yeah, the guy who came in after.
Yeah.
What's his
The
name?
guy after Christian Kirk got hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he actually had a good game too.
Washington. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did.
So the guy who made the acrobatic catch in the Monday night game against the
Yep.
Bengals.
Yeah.
Yep.
I believe his name was Parker Washington.
Yep.
It's good. Good. All right. Well,
Now, St. Joe, I heard that you promised somebody some drama.
oh, drama. You want drama now? You
Give us
want-
the drama.
you
We've
want-
had a little bit of drama already, but go ahead.
I
You
wanted
wanted-
to start with the drama.
You want it now? 33 minutes into the show, you want the drama now? You said I'm going to make her listen this far into the show to get the scoop.
Yep.
I mean, or we could wait till 58 fucking minutes. I don't
I
care.
mean, hey, if you want it now, I'll give it to you now. I mean, it is hot off of the presses, and
Well, how
all right, I'll-
hot? Like breaking tonight?
it is breaking tomorrow. I am giving you the lead now.
Okay. Well, can I
I
tell you
mean-
something that broke tonight?
Yeah.
If we haven't heard, real quick before you get into that, sorry
No.
to that out there. We teased
No.
it and now we're pushing it back. I don't know if you heard, but it's being reported by multiple outlets that Bill Belichick is not going to be with the Patriots after this season.
Yeah. Where did you hear he was going to go?
Oh, I didn't hear he was going to go anywhere. I just heard that Robert Kraft had told a guy that told a guy that told his roommate's best friend, dead sister, that Bill Belichick is not going to be with
It's the word on the street.
New England Patriots next year, and very well could be the head coach of the University of Florida.
Really?
I'm just kidding. I'm
Oh.
joking about the Florida part.
Wow. Interesting. You
I'm
had me
joking
there
about
for
the
a minute.
Florida.
Yeah, I don't see
no,
Belichick
no.
going into college.
I did read the other day though an article that he may go to another NFL franchise. GM owner / GM role coach. So
Of the Commanders.
yeah, right. Correct. So
Did you steal
Could-
St. Joe's story? Do you have other drama?
hang on, more drama.
Oh.
I also heard is being reported tonight that our really good friend out in Los Angeles, Mr. Lincoln Riley, is looking at some NFL jobs.
I'll bet he is. I'll bet he is.
yeah. Is there any other things that you have heard? Because if you steal my story, I'm going to punch you right in the
Oh, I
face.
haven't stolen it yet. I haven't stolen it yet. Well, I also heard.
Once more on Lincoln Riley, just a little bit there. That does not shock me that he would sign a $200 million contract with USC.
Yeah.
2 years later is looking at other jobs. Is that because he doesn't have his quarterback?
I don't.
Or is
know.
it just because he sucks at defense?
What they're paying these fucking coaches now? Okay, would you? Let me ask you this:
And
Would
there's
you
no way the NFL money's that good.
Would you consider Steve Spurrier, Bobby Bowden, Vince Dooley, Mark Richt, these guys? Would you consider them legendary coaches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the most any of them ever made in 1 year was $6 million.
Okay.
Ever.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that Lincoln Riley is making
A shit ton.
that's what
To
I'm saying.
suck.
It's like, so if he's going to suck, there's no way the NFL is going to pay him what he's getting paid at
No.
USC.
No.
Who's going to pay him that money? So the only way he's going anywhere is if someone fires him.
Lincoln Riley is like a bad slot machine. Motherfucker never pays off.
He needs to be like, he's had good teams, but he needs to be an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
He's never like we had him at Oklahoma for a few years, right? And they had good teams. They went into the playoffs. They had incredible offenses. The man never focused on defense ever.
Yeah, but wasn't he Bob Stoops' offensive coordinator?
He was.
Yeah. He needs a Brent Venables type guy.
He's got to surrender that. Like, obviously isn't choosing the right things on the defensive side of the ball. If he ever did, I mean, look out.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you, if you were a GM and you had a team like the Los Angeles Chargers, that they need to fire that fucking guy, right?
He's got. How does he still? That was one of the things I was going to ask. How's that dude still have a job?
Yeah, but you got. Sorry, St. Joe. I know you're chomping at the bit, but let me finish this thought.
It's all right.
So you got franchise quarterback Justin Herbert. He's coming back once they fix his finger, and all this good stuff, right? So you go hire Lincoln Riley. If I'm the GM of the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego, I would hire somebody like Jack Del Rio as my defensive coordinator, somebody who has head coaching experience, but also is a big ass defensive mind, because Jack Del Rio won a Super Bowl as defensive coordinator with the Denver Broncos. I thought he was a pretty good head coach for Jacksonville. He had a winning record. I thought he got a bad shake out in LA or Oakland, and then the Commanders are what the Commanders are. So, but I would hire somebody like that, or a Gus Bradley, or somebody like that who's been a head coach before, so Lincoln can go, okay, you deal with the defense. And I'll call plays, because you probably aren't going to have. You'll probably have a quarterback coach, and I would gather that Lincoln Riley would call the plays. Kind of like.
You can't find a better play caller on the offensive side of the ball, probably. But his problem is he doesn't play the complete game. He's a great offensive mind, really good.
I think a lot of NFL owners are real timid about bringing college coaches into the NFL after what happened with Urban Meyer.
Well, Cliff Kingsbury wasn't that bad.
Well, one of the most successful college coaches to come into, Pete Carroll, I would say, is pretty successful. Yeah. Jimmy Johnson back in the late '80s, early '90s. People like that, but like Matt Rule, he didn't pan out.
Wannstedt did okay.
Oh, there's a dude in Dallas. He used to be the Oklahoma coach. Who was the Oklahoma coach? What was his name?
Who, Barry Switzer?
Yeah.
Then okay, Barry Switzer won with Jimmy Johnson's team.
Yeah.
Still won.
with Jimmy Johnson's team. He was a bad babysitter.
Yeah.
And that team went down after Jimmy Johnson left. He just won with all of the scraps of people who were still under contract.
Yeah.
You know, Barry Switzer had no business being there. He was a figurehead, a name because they knew him in the South because of his ties with Oklahoma.
Okay.
You know, I'll tell you who ran that team. His name was Troy Aikman.
Yeah. Look at Saban. Look, that's why Saban left. I mean, he tried it out for a while and then went back to Alabama.
You know, you said Dave Wannstedt. Wannstedt
Yeah.
wasn't bad.
No,
You know,
Wannstedt
he was a solid coach. I didn't think Saban was that bad.
No.
You know, he wasn't Urban Meyer bad.
No.
You
No,
know, but
Meyer was
Urban
horrible.
Meyer kept tripping over his ego.
What about
That's
Jim?
what happened with Urban.
What
And-
about
and-
Jim Harbaugh?
Jim
Yeah,
Harbaugh took the
he-
to the San Francisco 49ers the fucking Super Bowl.
And he
I'm
may
saying,
be
but
back.
he was a Stanford coach.
Harbaugh
Before
may
that.
be back.
I think
We'll
he's
see.
I think he's looking at the Chargers too. A lot of people are looking at the Chargers because, like me, they can't figure out why they're not winning.
Right.
You know, they have a core of really good players. You know, Joey Bosa. I mean, you know, Eckler. They have a core. You know, Herbert. They have a core of really good players. Why the fuck aren't they winning? You know,
Yeah, Harbaugh could do pretty good there, but then you got to look if Washington is going to get mixed up too. You got Ron Rivera there, like you said. Isn't Del Rio there?
Del Rio got fired.
Oh, he did. Okay, so but Ron Rivera is going to end up somewhere, and then what about Jimbo Fisher?
Yeah, I think also Tampa Bay is going to be vacant at the end of the year. I think their head coaching is going to be vacant.
I think Chicago is going to be. I think
Chicago should already be vacant.
I think Eric Bieniemy is going to end up in Chicago because he's
Bieniemy could also be the Commanders' head coach.
I don't think so. Bieniemy's got really strong ties to the GM from Kansas City.
Okay.
He's got some pretty good ties there, but and Chicago's got the number 1 draft and probably the number 5 that they're going to pick. I mean, I thought about going through that, but I think Beavs is going to do some other college shit. But if they can pick, you know, I don't think they're picking Caleb Williams. I think they're trading away the number 1 pick and getting
King's ransom.
a hell of a lot of picks.
Yeah, King's ransom because people are going to want Caleb Williams. Whether he's going to be good or not is a whole different story. But they're going to want him, right?
Yeah, somebody's trading up to get Caleb Williams, and they're getting a mitt full of a lot of stuff. Because even if they trade back past number 5, they still have number 5.
Here, I'm going to give you 2 things real quick. Number 1, there are 3 head coaches in the NFL that are 100% not going anywhere. Okay, it's Mike McDaniel out of Miami, right? Sean Payton in Denver.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson in Jacksonville.
Yeah, Doug's
not going anywhere.
No,
not going anywhere. No. I do not think Caleb Williams will be the first quarterback taken in the draft.
Who you think it's Drake?
I think it's my man out of North Carolina. Yeah. I think he has the potential to go number 1.
Yeah.
You know, I think this season turned a lot of people down on Caleb Williams.
Okay,
and not just his play, how he handled himself after the games, him crying with his mom in the fucking stands, you know, and shit like that. And my man in North Carolina has done nothing but act professionally the entire season.
Yeah.
And the NFL looks at stuff like that.
Marvin Harrison Jr. could potentially. I don't think he's going number 1, but I don't know. I don't know if Marvin Harrison Jr. is even going to come out. He might stay.
Yeah, didn't
He's
they
gonna
say
make
they're going to pay him like
$20 million
$4 million? Yeah, they're going to pay him like a bunch of money to stay.
So so now that you brought the NIL money up, I think the NIL is throwing a huge wrench in draft classes. And the reason I'm saying that is because we just had our number 1 linebacker, one of the best linebackers in the country. He had already declared for the draft, but then some company threw him a bone and said, if you stay at Oklahoma, we'll pay you. we'll pay you. And he realized, hey, if I get drafted, you know, this far down the board, I'm not going to make as much money as these people are offering me. So he came back to Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so the inadvertent result of allowing NIL money in college football is now you're going to have teams that are full of upperclassmen, something we haven't had. You know what I mean? And you might see if that boils over into basketball, you're going to see a resurgence of talent in basketball as well, which I'm hoping and praying for. But because I really miss the days where college basketball was full of mint players, and also football has kind of been bereft of mint players because they're leaving after their sophomore season now.
Well,
If
I
they're
don't know.
certain
I
age.
mean, look at Bo Nix, like for example, he didn't win the Heisman. Now he says he's coming back. So
What, for his 9th year?
Well, who's he going to
said
play
he's gonna
for?
come back.
Who's he going to play for?
He would have to play for Oregon again, wouldn't he?
Oregon just signed Dylan Gabriel.
Well, Bo Nix said he's
Give him a
coming
huge
back.
NIL deal. That's the reason he
Well,
left Oklahoma.
Oh boy, I don't even want to bring this up. Maybe he's going into the transfer portal.
Boy, if he ends
I
up in
don't
the
know.
transfer portal, boy,
I
there's some
mean,
interesting things. Boy,
I don't know, but
before we go there, give us your drama.
But I
Joe.
mean, and before I go there too, but let me ask you this: how high up the board do you think? What's his name? The Heisman guy, Jalen Cart. What?
Jaden
Daniels.
Daniels.
How high do you think he jumped up because he won the Heisman?
I don't think he jumped up at all.
Do you think he's a top 5?
QB or top 5?
Do you think it's a top 5 draft choice now? Because it's a quarterback heavy draft. That's the only reason I ask you. Because it's a quarterback heavy draft.
No, I don't think so because I think he ran the ball too much, and I don't think he throws the ball as well as he runs.
So, because if you're looking, I mean, obviously Caleb Williams number 1. You think your North Carolina guy is number 2.
Could be. He has great accuracy. The kid from Carolina, he has a great arm, and he's super accurate, and he's more of your quintessential professional quarterback in the league. Now, granted, we're moving in different directions now in the league, but people are still looking for that guy who can throw over the guy who can run. I think.
Do you take Penix or do you take Daniels?
Can you name the last left-handed quarterback who succeeded in the league at a high level?
Tua Tagovailoa.
Other than him,
Mark Brunell. Boomer Esiason. Steve Young.
those were 90s. All three that you mentioned were 90s quarterbacks.
Okay, I know a left-handed quarterback that won a fucking playoff game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Quarterback for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah. Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
My only point in saying that is, I mean, after watching Penix can throw the ball and he can run a little bit. I guess we're going to see more of him, Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, I'm saying that's why I think these college games are going to be really important
he's not a very well built QB.
Yeah.
If you've watched him play, he's not like thick. Like you don't think he'll survive the NFL. Some of these guys, you know what I mean? Like he can survive college ball, but it becomes a whole different thing when you get into the pros because they hit you so much harder, and you take off running and.
Yeah. Oh, it's a different ball game. It's for sure. But
maybe.
But
you never know.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me hit you with some hot off the presses. This is for tomorrow. All right. So, do you know what tomorrow is? When we release this episode, do you know what day it is?
It's December 13th, Wednesday, December 13th.
Very, very important date in the United States. All right, because December 13 is very, very important.
No, Pearl Harbor was
last
December 7th. Yeah, it was a
very,
day which
very
will live
important
in
to a lot of
infamy. If
people.
you would have fucking listened to the goddamn stupid
Oh
history.
my God, I'm sorry. Do I need to mute you because this is my time?
Sorry.
13 is very important to a lot of people, but it's
According to my
going
son,
to
that's
be,
his age.
it's going to be important for one person in general because this young lady is going to be asked to be married to one Travis Kelce.
No.
Wow.
No.
That is it, my friend. That is it.
No way.
13-carat diamond ring coming to one Taylor Swift.
You're
The
lying.
Swifties are gonna go nuts.
Did you make it up?
No,
You're not making that up.
not.
Is
Your
this like
insider-
Is this like a Nostradamus, like a St. Joe Stradamus kind of deal?
It is an independent source from St. Joe's.
An
Secret
independent
knowledge.
source, which means, your wife's running buddy, over there. What's
I
You know what I
uh,
heard?
I have a friend who knows a friend who knew your father's roommate. Has whispered to me that it has been said that because 13 holds such a big number for the Swiftie, that tomorrow she and the man that she loves are going to pop the question.
Man, that was swift.
It truly is a love
It's only
story.
been like 2 months, right?
No, they've secretly been dating for 13 months, and it's a love story. And this was a story that you cannot shake it off.
Man.
This is a
Nice.
story that needs to
done.
go the fuck away.
Yeah. for
Get
heaven's sakes, if
married.
That's what it takes to get married. Then fine. I don't care. Could you please hurry it up and get it done with? For God's sake.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, seriously, but she's brought a lot of fans to the NFL. They might not know anything about football, but she's done a lot for the NFL this year.
Since the NFL is scripted, do you think that relationship's scripted?
Oh my gosh, scripted.
Yeah.
You're throwing out all kinds of stuff about Taylor. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well-
that's my gossip. You
Wow.
watch, you're gonna hear it, and when you do, you're gonna say that damn St. Joe is smart.
And that segment, Gossip by St. Joe, is brought to you by Pedals of Support.
Very well done. Very
Yeah.
well done.
That's right.
Let me ask you this real quick. See if you guys know. A little trivia question. Within 100, do you guys know how many players are currently in the transfer portal?
The Atlanta Braves.
800. Currently, last number I saw was 776.
Okay, you're way off.
Is it more than that now?
Yeah, a lot more.
1,200.
I mean, it's got to be in the thousands.
Keep in mind, there are 120
Teams.
FBS
Right.
football programs.
1,200.
Say, Joe.
3,604.
Nah, that's way too
Okay, well, you're closer. It's over 3,000. According to the Athletic, it is over 3,000 players that are currently in the transfer portal. Now, some of them, are going to drop out and not play. Some of them, but that's how many. My problem with this is, and we just saw something like this happen in Gainesville. If you're a player of any notoriety and shit's not going your way, basically the transfer portal gives you an opportunity to quite literally take your ball and go home.
Yeah.
If it's not going your way. When I fell in love with college football, you had players there that were staple players. I really fell in love with the Florida Gators when Wayne Peace was their quarterback. After that was Shane Matthews. After that was Danny Werfel. After that, we had a couple, and then we had Tebow. So, but they were there. That was your team's quarterback. Georgia had theirs. Florida State, Charlie Ward. Danny Cannell. Chris Winkie, Jameis Winston, that was their quarterback. And if you wanted to transfer, you had to take a year off. And I will go to, do you guys remember a guy that played in college in the NFL? He was pretty good. His name was Cam Newton.
Yeah.
This is how good that 2008 fucking Florida football team was. Do you realize he was Tim Tebow's backup quarterback?
Yeah.
Came from Auburn.
Right. No, he was
I'm
at
sorry.
Florida.
He transferred from Florida to Auburn.
He got kicked off the team at Florida.
Yeah.
Okay,
Something
he
to
got
do
kicked.
with you stole a laptop
He
or
stole a
something.
laptop. Yeah, he got kicked off the team, and he to transfer, he had to stay out a year. He went and played JUCO ball.
Wow.
And then went to Auburn, and I'm pretty sure he won a pretty prestigious award at Auburn, if
did?
I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that he won that, but But we talk about the NIL and a lot of that stuff that's driving this transfer portal thing is almost out of control. And yeah, I'm a little bitter that that Trevor Etienne, brother of Jacksonville Jaguars starting running back Travis Etienne, is leaving Florida and probably going to go to Georgia.
So,
because back in the day when you transferred, typically you could not transfer in conference. Typically you had to go somewhere else, kind of like Mertz did from the Big Ten to the SEC, but you typically weren't going to go. But now with the transfer portal and the NIL driving that, you can go anywhere. He could go to Florida State. He could go, which is not out of conference, but going from Florida to Georgia. And I'm going to give people a news flash here that they probably don't need. Trevor Etienne is good, real good.
Yeah.
do they know where he's going yet?
If he goes to Georgia, it's rumored he's going to Georgia. And if he goes to Georgia behind that offensive line,
He's going to be trouble.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Motherfucker going to, break Herschel Walker's record.
I think that's a bit of a stretch, but
it is a bit of a stretch. But I mean, the dude ran for was it 1,100 yards or something like that behind a shitty offensive line. You put an elite offensive line like Georgia has, because Georgia always churns out good running backs. They always do.
Yeah.
Do you want me to start naming them in the NFL?
No.
I can name two off the top of my head: Nick Chubb and Swift.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's my problem. I got a big problem with the way that the transfer portal is being managed.
So I think this could all be solved if there were some rules in place, right?
Yeah.
But what rules do you put in place? Well, the one rule I think you could put in place would say, all right, well, you can take your NIL money, but if you sign for a school and take their NIL money, you can't leave.
Right.
That's your school. So you better choose wisely, right? You can't chase money some other place. You're not allowed to do it in the NFL. You're not allowed to do it in most other, you can do it in other job fields, but in professional sports, you can't. Once you sign a contract, you're on that team. You don't go anywhere unless they want to send you. So, or you can sit out, whichever one you want. But the transfer portal, that is how you shut it down, in my opinion. You shut it down and you say, okay, well, you can take your NIL money. That's what you wanted. You wanted the money, right? And so because you wanted the money, here's your stipulation. It's like signing a contract. If you take NIL money, you sign a contract with the school you went to. You're there until you enter the draft.
But that NIL money is just like a one-time, like, I don't know. How does that work? Is it, I'm going to give you $20 million for your likeness for a year, for 5 years, how does that work?
I think they're all different. NIL stands for name, image, and likeness.
Right. Essentially, someone's using you to commercialize their product.
Right. Well, what it started. I don't know if you guys. I remember. I'm quite certain Beeps does. St. Joe. I don't know how much you are into playing on the Xbox, but there was an NCAA football game made by EA Sports, and it basically got shut. It basically got shut. It's coming back out, but it basically got shut down because the players are like, "Fuck you! You're using my name. Not my name, but my image and my likeness,
right,
on this game." And so EA didn't want to be fucking sued to the hilt by Cam Newton or whoever, so they shut it down. But they can do you know who Leon Searcy is?
Yes.
Leon Searcy was an offensive lineman opposite Tony Vaselli on the Jaguars in the 90s.
Okay.
And he went to the University of Miami, and one of the local sandwich shops wanted to name one of their sandwiches after him, and he couldn't because at the time that was an NCAA violation. And
Gotcha.
in Miami, the cheating motherfuckers they are, were like, no, we don't want to be caught on yet another NCAA violation, so we're not going to allow you to do that. Had he been operating with the NIL, they could have paid him to use his name on that sandwich, and things of that nature. And so he was on the radio when I was, so he loves to tell that story. Anyhow, but they could do that. Back to the transfer portal real quick. I think a big thing that could help it is reinstate hey, you got to sit out 1 year.
That too. Yep. Something like
reinstate that rule. You got
Mm-hmm.
to sit out 1 year. You're going to waste all that time. You're not going to be able to go to the draft because that rule that you still have to be 2 calendar years out of high school to go to the NFL, that's still in place. And I love that rule. I wish they would do that in college basketball.
Yeah.
Me too. But I think those are both viable options. You could probably do both of them. And really, those aren't like really stark rules. You don't have to write gigantic pieces of legal mumbo jumbo. You just say, hey, if you're going to take NIL money and go to this school, you just stay there till you graduate or you go to the NFL. That's not really that hard. The other one is if you want to transfer, then you sit out a year. That would make people think twice, especially if they're they lose a year of money.
Have you guys ever heard of a guy named Kobe Bryant?
Yeah.
How about Kevin Garnett?
Yeah.
LeBron James?
Yeah.
Do you know what's all in common with the three of those guys?
They didn't go to college.
They don't like helicopters?
They did.
Oh, God.
That's not nice. The three of them jumped straight from high school to the NBA.
Yeah.
You can't do that in the NFL. You'll get killed. You'll get hurt. You need the college experience to beef up a little bit, to learn your position. Yeah, because a lot of these players in high school are playing quarterback, and now they're playing, defense. So you can't. The NFL is too fast to go from high school to the NFL.
Right.
You see college players that have been in college for 5 years, have trouble with the NFL. It's a different it's a different ballgame. It's not like baseball to where, in college or in high school, the pitcher's mound to home plate is 60 foot 6 inches. You want to know what's in Major League Baseball? It's 60 feet 6 inches. So now they're throwing harder and a bunch of breaking stuff in the major leagues, but the transition. And there's no real minor league for the NFL. College football is the minor league for the NFL. Really,
Right.
so.
But the NIL only pertains to college, though, right? It doesn't pertain to anybody else. Like LeBron doesn't have an NIL, does he?
Yeah,
No,
he does.
well, yeah, it's called a salary.
No, those are his commercial deals.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So is
They're
it
using
called an NIL, though?
They're
Yeah, but
using
when
his,
you're-
no, it's just
When
something
you're
they-
a professional, they call them endorsements.
Okay. All right. That was
Yeah.
you answered my question then. All right.
Yeah.
All right, boys, you ready for this?
Sure.
It's the bowl pick'em
Oh yeah.
Oh,
part
boy.
of the show.
There we go.
Lucky for you guys, I printed out a schedule.
Okay.
So, and we're going to be taking note and see who
When did they
wins.
start?
December 16th. This Saturday?
Saturday.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right. I guess so.
Saturday, yeah. So, okay, December 16th. The first one is the Myrtle Beach Bowl, Georgia Southern versus Ohio. Who you got?
I'm gonna take Georgia Southern.
I took Georgia Southern too.
Sure. Clean sweep.
This is the Eagles, right? The Eagles.
I don't know. December 16th game, Florida A&M versus Howard in the Cricket Celebration Bowl.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rattlers, the Florida A&M Rattlers.
Okay, that's me too.
Okay. Clean sweep.
Okay. The New Orleans Bowl, December 16th, Jacksonville State versus Louisiana. This is a hard one to choose because I know nothing about either one of those teams.
Yikes.
You said Louisiana State.
No, just Louisiana.
Is that the Raging Cajuns?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going with them. I'm going with the
Okay.
Raging Cajuns.
Keb is Louisiana. I'm Jacksonville State.
Never go for a team from Alabama.
J State. Jacksonville State.
Okay.
Yeah, he's looking up like who's favored and shit. I'm
No.
just going off the cuff here.
All right. So here is the new the Avocados Mexico Cure Bowl.
Avocados from Mexico.
Oh,
Appalachian State versus Miami of Ohio. I have chosen Appalachian State.
Yeah, I'm going with the boys from
Yeah.
Boone.
I'm going Miami, Ohio.
Scott.
The fighting Roethlisbergers.
All right.
I used to live there,
Here is the Isleta, New Mexico Bowl, December 16th. Fresno State versus New Mexico State.
The Isleta. Isleta.
I chose
Jamo?
Fresno State, but New Mexico State did just beat Auburn like a drum. So
I go with New Mexico State.
all right, thanks, Kev.
Scott?
Scott?
Kevin is and his accents.
Yeah.
New Mexico.
Okay, Kevin Scott.
New Mexico State.
December 16th, the LA Bowl. UCLA versus Boise State. I've chosen Boise State.
Boise. I like the blue field.
Yeah, I'm going with the boys with the blue field.
Yep.
I
It's
wish
not
they
on
would
their
put-
it's not on
I
their
know.
field.
Well, it
Well,
doesn't matter.
Well, I would hope they paint half the field blue.
Well, the end zone maybe.
Anything that plays on a blue field is cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe they'll do the hook and lateral like they did against Oklahoma
Yeah.
that year.
That'd be awesome. The Independence Bowl, the Radiance Independence Bowl, December 16th. Cal versus Texas Tech. I've chosen Texas Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech.
The Mahomes crying babies.
Yeah, okay. All three of us chose them, huh? Okay, so the famous Toastery Bowl.
Mm.
Western Kentucky versus Old Dominion. I've chosen Western Kentucky.
ODU.
Wow.
Well, that's
I'm going with the I believe they're called the Hilltoppers, are they
Yep,
not?
that's correct.
The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers.
Wow.
okay. The Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl.
Nice.
Sorry, that name's got me.
The best part is the names of these bowls.
Yep.
That's the best part.
The
University
Prince Albert McCann.
University of Texas San Antonio versus Marshall. I chose UTSA.
You know what? I'm gonna go We Are Marshall on this one.
Nice. We are
Yeah.
Marshall. I'm gonna go. We are Marshall. I like Marshall.
Yeah. Go with Marshall on this one.
Okay, here's one for you. The Roof Claim was the Roof Claim Boca Raton Bowl. USF
Nice.
versus Syracuse.
Let's see. I hope a hurricane hits my house so I can replace a bunch of roofs bowl. Who's playing?
USF and Syracuse. I chose USF.
Wow, the orange and the bowls. Yeah, I'm gonna go South Florida.
South Florida.
It's a home game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Boca.
Wow, this is a new one. The Union Home Gasparilla Bowl.
Gasparilla Bowl. Gasparilla Bowl.
Georgia Tech versus UCF. I chose UCF.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Central Florida as well.
I like Central Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, the 76 Birmingham Bowl. Troy versus Duke. I chose Duke.
Yeah, Duke.
Troy.
You don't even know where Troy is.
Helena, Troy.
Okay.
Huh? No, no. Helena, Troy. Troy is
It's in Helena.
Here,
No, it's
here
not. It's
is
in Dothan, Alabama.
Here is the 16th anniversary Camellia Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama. Arkansas State versus Northern Illinois. I chose Northern Illinois.
You know what? The guys in Arkansas don't get any love from anybody other than their sister, so I'm going with Arkansas State.
Arkansas State.
You know that's Butch Jones, right?
I'm good with that.
All right. The Armed Forces Bowl.
Yes.
JMU versus that's James Madison versus
Right.
Air Force. I chose James Madison.
Yeah, James Madison. They're going to kill somebody.
Wow.
Scott?
I'm going Air Force.
All right.
Nah,
Scott.
James Madison's going to kill. They're pissed off, man. They're gonna shellac. I mean, you could put them up against fucking Alabama.
Here is the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Georgia State versus Utah State. I chose Georgia State.
You know, I got to go with Georgia State here because you know where they play their home games?
No.
In Old Turner Field in Atlanta.
Okay.
That's where they play their home
Scott?
games.
I'm going Utah.
Utah, Scott. Okay. Here we go. The Ventures Bowl. South Alabama versus Eastern Michigan. I chose Eastern
Jesus
Michigan.
Christ. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm
Eastern
going
Michigan.
emu.
Emu. Yeah. Emu.
Okay.
Lemu,
SR
emu,
the
and
SRS.
He doesn't even have a mustache.
Doug. Yeah.
Come on, there's a Liberty Bowl for that. Okay.
Save with Liberty Bibberty. Hey, look, a beeboo.
All right. All right. SRS Las Vegas Bowl, Utah versus Northwestern. I chose Utah.
Utah versus who?
Northwestern.
You know, Charles Heston,
The
the great actor.
I mean
went to
Charlton
Northwestern.
Heston.
That guy, the NRA guy.
Yeah.
He went to Northwestern, so because of that, I'm gonna pick the other team.
Okay. Scott?
Utah.
Okay.
Utah beat Florida.
The Easy Post Hawaii Bowl. CCU versus San Jose State.
Can I ask a question?
I don't know who CCU is, so don't ask.
Okay.
I chose San Jose State.
Yeah, I'll take them.
Do you know the way to San Jose?
Uh-huh. All right.
Do you?
Here
know
is the
way
Quick
to San
Lane,
Jose?
the Quick Lane Bowl, Bowling Green State University versus Minnesota. I chose Minnesota.
Hey, when do we get to teams that people have heard of before?
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Okay.
Do you think you can kill all the golfers?
Yeah, Minnesota.
The golfers.
The Gopher State.
Yeah.
All right. The First Responder Bowl, Texas State versus Rice. I chose
Sure
Texas
hope nobody
State.
gets hurt there.
Well, they'll be well taken care of.
They
Where
will
I
be.
come, where I come from, it's just rice.
So you chose Rice. All right.
Where I come from, it's just rice.
Oh, you like the rice?
Scott also took it too. All right. Give the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Kansas versus UNLV. I chose Kansas.
You know, like the farmers only? No, here it's just rice.
Farmer only.
All right.
Okay. Who is it, Beebs? I'm sorry.
It's the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. It's Kansas and UNLV.
I will guarantee that UNLV will win that game.
Wow.
Guaranteed, huh? What happens if they don't?
Oh, then, hey, look. I'm
You can
still,
take it. You can
I'm
take a crap in a
still-
box and write a guarantee on it.
I'm still a genius, even if they lose. Now, if you're a gambler out there and you're listening to us for your bowl picks, you are what I call a dumb fuck. Okay, but if I guarantee something and I'm wrong, I'm still a genius because geniuses are wrong from time
Scott,
to time.
Who did you choose?
I'm going
Hey, look,
Kansas.
don't
All
cut
right.
me off. I'll mute your
Kansas.
shit.
The Military Bowl, Go Bowling Bowl. Virginia Tech versus Tulane. I chose Tulane.
Ooh.
I'm going with the Hokies.
Yeah.
All right.
The Hokies.
The Duke's Mayo Bowl, UNC versus West Virginia. I chose West Virginia.
The Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Dude,
sponsored by
Duke's
the Two
mayonnaise. Duke's mayonnaise is some good shit. It really is.
Penny. It's
All right,
the
Scott, who'd you who you got?
preferred lubricant of the Two Penny.
Dude, I didn't even pick. Why are you passing me? I didn't even fucking pick.
I'm just waiting for you to decide.
Who's
got?
playing?
UNC and West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
West
take.
Virginia.
Yeah, I'll take West Virginia as well.
Even though your boy at UNC is going to be the number one pick in the draft.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
he's not
yeah.
playing, so it's
Yeah.
that's the
That's-
other thing. All right, the Direct TV Holiday Bowl, Louisville versus USC.
Ooh.
Here we go.
You know they really
This is a
hate
tough
it in
one.
Kentucky when that you call their capital Louisville.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know, it's the third freaking week we've heard that joke.
I chose Louisville.
I'm gonna go with Louisville.
Louisville, because that's how it's pronounced.
Okay. The Tax Act Texas Bowl, Texas A&M versus Oklahoma State. I chose Oklahoma State.
Of course you did.
I hate Oklahoma State, but they're better than A&M, or they
Yeah,
were.
I'm going to Oklahoma State as well.
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
The Fenway Bowl, SMU at Boston College. Wow, that's a home game. I chose SMU.
I'm gonna go Boston College.
I chose SMU. You know why? Because
11.
fuck Boston College.
Okay.
Have you seen that on the Pat
Owen, you inspire me.
That's the
Jeez.
best clip ever.
All right, here we go. The Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, Rutgers versus Miami. I chose Miami.
Beebs
I
is
have
not
no idea
amused.
why.
Yeah, I'll take Miami.
Keb.
Rutgers. I'm going
Ooh,
Rutgers.
Scott. All right. The Pop Tarts Bowl, NC State versus Kansas State. I chose
I am
Kansas
taking
State.
strawberry all the way. Strawberry.
Pineapple.
Ooh, pineapple.
Or orange.
What's your safe word?
You do live in Nocatee.
I'm going K-State.
All right, Scott. Keb.
Who are they playing again?
NC State and Kansas State.
Yeah, K-State.
Okay. The Valero Alamo Bowl, Arizona and Oklahoma. I chose Oklahoma.
Shocker.
Yeah, fuck that, Arizona.
All right. Which is
I'm going
Arizona's good this
Oklahoma.
year. Arizona is good this year, and Oklahoma's had a bunch of people bow out of the game. So, the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Clemson versus Kentucky. I chose Clemson.
I'm going Kentucky.
Keb. Scott.
I'm going to go Kentucky. I'm going Kentucky. They got a big constituent around
You guys
here.
want to go to the Gator Bowl?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be out of town, but
Of course you are.
yeah,
When is
All
it?
right.
it's
Nah,
around New
I'm on-
Year's.
That's
I'm
the
probably on
29th?
vacation.
The 29th?
Yeah, I'm leaving the 27th.
Oh.
The Tony the Tiger Bowl, Oregon State versus Notre Dame. I chose Notre Dame.
Mm. Yeah, I got to go with the Catholics because they're great.
Fuck them. No, no, Oregon State.
All right. The Liberty Bowl.
Liberty.
Bibberty. Memphis,
Look at-
Iowa
look at
State.
Boo-boo.
Memphis versus Iowa State. I chose Iowa State.
Yeah. Iowa State.
I was walking in Memphis.
Ooh.
The Goodyear Cotton Bowl, Missouri versus Ohio State. I chose Missouri.
Yeah, I cannot pick the Buckeyes.
Yeah,
So I'm
Missouri,
going
Missouri. Missouri shocks the world.
Well, Ohio State lost a bunch of players. So they lost like 30 players to the portal. All right. So the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Ole Miss, Penn State. I chose Ole Miss because I hate Penn State.
Chick-fil-A. I could eat you every day. Penn State. Because they're
Scott.
the best
All right.
ranked 10th ever.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Well done.
I'm going Ole Miss.
All right,
The
good.
fighting Kiffins.
The Music City Bowl, Auburn in Maryland. I chose Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland.
Auburn.
Oh, Scott. All right, here we go. The big one. Capital One Bowl. The Capital One Orange Bowl. Georgia versus Florida State. Who you got?
Georgia.
Okay.
Florida State.
I chose Florida State as well. Mostly out of just hoping, but I chose them.
No.
The
If you're not in
Arizona
there, you don't deserve to be the champs.
the Arizona Bowl.
They
Toledo-
fucking went undefeated.
Not for long when Georgia beats them.
And he wasn't offsides. Sorry. Okay. The Arizona Bowl. Toledo versus Wyoming. I chose Wyoming.
Of course you did.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm going with Toledo.
Nah, I'm picking Wyoming.
Did
too,
you
I
say
think.
Toledo?
Toledo.
Better.
Hey, aren't they
Wyoming.
are they the Golden Hurricanes or is that Tulsa?
That's Tulsa.
Okay.
Toledo might be a golden something. I can't remember.
In
And
baseball,
generally they're
they're the
pretty
Mud
good.
Hens.
All right. So here we go.
Ugh.
The Relia Quest Bowl, Wisconsin versus LSU. I chose LSU.
Yeah,
LSU.
Wisconsin should get just trounced. It's not even a good game.
The Fiesta Bowl, Liberty versus Oregon. I chose Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon.
You know, I am going to choose Oregon to defeat Liberty, 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 Liberty.
The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, Iowa versus Tennessee. I chose Tennessee.
Oh my God, Tennessee! Iowa's just horrible.
Tennessee.
I don't even know. Yeah, we've already talked about that. The Rose Bowl, baby, Alabama versus Michigan.
I'm going Alabama.
Keb, Scott.
I'm going Alabama.
Wow, I'm going Michigan. The All-State Sugar Bowl, Texas versus Washington.
I'm going rematch. I'm going Texas.
Texas. Scott, Keb.
Penix didn't win the Heisman,
That's right.
so I'm going Washington.
I also chose Washington. Who do you got winning the national championship between your teams?
I'll take Bama.
Bama for Scott.
I'm going Alabama too, just because Saban will have them ready to play and they know how to win.
Yep.
Talent for talent. I mean,
I have Washington beating Michigan. There you have it, boys. I have everything recorded. This will be held against you in a court of law. We'll see who wins. We'll see who wins. All right.
It'll be interesting.
all right, we got one more
Stupid sports.
order of business here. This is a quick one. This is the stupid sport of the week, brought to you by the Two Petty Podcast because they came up with the segment. Have you guys ever heard this sport is popular in Canada? Go fucking figure. But it should be popular in like Japan or somewhere like that. But this sport was made by, I'm not allowed to say the word I want to say, so I'm just going to say Inuit, if you know what that is.
Yes.
Because apparently to say the other word is a slur these days, and I don't want to slur anybody because I love everybody, and everybody loves me. Most people do, except for my ex-wife. But this is, have you ever heard of 1 foot high kick?
Yes.
No.
Oh, they have tournaments in Canada. The Inuit 1 foot high kick requires incredible strength, control, and precision. The goal is to kick a suspended ball with 1 foot while in the air and then land on that same foot
And not fall.
and not fall. It's considered the most difficult of the Inuit games. So that brought me to, what other Inuit games do we have? Do we have catch the polar bear, or do we have ice fishing with our hands?
They do have slaughter the narwhal, I think.
Okay, and then if you watch that one documentary, they do have kill the people who are doing the Iditarod.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
I mean,
Yeah,
in the middle of the night, these people are like, mush, mush, oh shit, gunshots. I mean, they have to dodge more things. You would think like bears or like, Bigfoot or something like that would get them.
Obstacles, right?
Yeah, nah. The Inuit, they got themselves fucking organized crime family up there, and they're like, we don't like that guy. He's going to win the Iditarod. I've got money on this chick back here, so go shoot him.
Wow.
So
So
anyhow,
did
1
you know-
foot, 1 foot high kick.
Did you know they also have a 2 foot high kick, and the female winner did 72 inches? You have to run and jump off of 2 feet, and then you have to touch the ball in the air with 2 feet and land on and not fall.
I was watching this movie one time, and
Oh, boy, here
this
we
chick
go.
was doing something else with 72 inches, But anyhow, that's a story for another day.
Let me guess, it was on OnlyFans.
Cinemax, mid '90s. You know, it was a it was
Lady Chatterley's Lover.
no, it was a Christmas movie. It's called Okama Come Emmanuel. I've been wanting to tell that joke for like 2 weeks. Yeah, but go check out all of our friends over at UNF Pod. We're gonna get off of here so Beebs can yell at me. It's been like 3 weeks into the show. I made him facepalm, so it's all good, you know, and all that. So go check out all of our friends at UNF Pod. There's a show for you every day of the week. We're making new friends. We're having fun. So I'm not going to name them all here. Just go to unfpod.com and check them all out. You can follow us on Twitter, USFPod. You know, Beebs where he is, but just kick us over to USF Pod. We need to build that Twitter up a little bit. So, anyhow, if there's nothing else, guys.
No,
His name was Emmanuel.
What?
yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
You don't even know.
All right.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to help
okay.
carry on your joke, but that's all right.
Don't encourage him.
I shouldn't.
We'll have more sports nonsense next week. So we appreciate you being with us. And everybody, continue enjoying your holiday season. I think today's, the 6th, 7th day of Hanukkah? Something like that? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but other than that, for Beebs, for St. Joe, my name is Kev. We'll catch you guys next week.
Catch you on the flippity flop.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Kelsey.